Today's topic is data structures. So it is a new chapter. We'll see what is a data structure, what are the different types of data structures, and the operations on data structures. So a data structure is a named group of data of different data types which is stored in specific way and can be processed as a single unit. So it is a named group of data of different data types which is stored in specific way. Okay, let us see more about it. Before that, let us know the difference between data type and data structures. So data type defines the type of values we can store and operations we can perform. For example, in int data type, we cannot store decimal values. Similarly, we cannot multiply two strings type values. It also specifies amount of memory it will take. So each data type occupies different kinds of different amount of memory, and each data type is used for storing a particular kind of data. Now let us see what is a data structure. It is physical implementation that clearly defines a way of storing how data is stored, that is, and how it is accessed, way of storing, accessing, and manipulation of data stored in data structure. So it is physical implementation that clearly defines a way of storing, accessing, and manipulation of data stored in data structure. Every data structure has a specific way of insertion and deletion, like stack, work on, LIFO means last in, first out. All operations will take from one end. So there is a kind of data structure which we call it as a stack. So a particular way of storing is done in stack, and same way the removal of the element also will be some specific way is followed. All operation will take from one end, that is top, where Q works on FIFO. So in stack, the insertion and deletion which takes from one end only. So in Q, which is done from the top, so which works on FIFO, first in, first out. So that means, so who enters first, they come out first. Okay, that is item inserted first will be removed first, and new item will always added to the end of the queue. So there are specific way of storing is done in stack as well as queue. So this kind of storage and accessing and manipulation of data, that together the physical implementation of this is called as data structure. So what are the types of data structures? So we categorize into two main categories, that is linear data structure and non-linear data structure. In linear data structure, it is simple data structure. The elements in the data structure creates a sequence like array, list, stack, queue. All these are examples. So linear, that means it follows, it creates a sequence. Okay. Similarly, non-linear data structure, the data is not in sequential form. These are multi-level structures, like one below the other, and again subunits, like that. In different levels the data is stored. So example for this is tree and graph. So a tree will have branches, like similarly the graph, the representation will be done in different way. So but in linear data structure, it will have a sequence. Okay, let us see more about this. So totally this diagram shows the data structure, so which can be primitive data type as well as non-primitive data types. In primitive data types, integer, float, character and all comes, that is basic data types. Non-primitive data types, in that linear and non-linear will divide into linear and non-linear data structures. So in linear, array, stack, queue, list comes, and non-linear, tree and graph comes. Okay, so we'll be talking about linear data structure. Linear list and arrays, which refers to named list of finite number of n similar data elements. Each of data elements can be accessed by its unique index or subscript position, usually 0, 1, 2, 3. So here the data elements will be stored in sequence, and each one will have an index. For example, if the list mylist contains 10 elements, then first element will be mylist of 0, second element will be mylist of 1, and so on. Array can be single dimensional or multi-dimensional. In Python, arrays are implemented through list data types as linear list or through numpy arrays. So we have seen the list and numpy arrays. So through that, linear list is created. There is another kind of data in data structure that if we call it as a stack. So let us have a basic concepts of stacks, queues and all, then we'll go for the programming part. So first let us see what is a stack. It allows to insert and delete items from one end only, called top. Stack works on last in first out principle. It means items added in list will be removed from first. So you can see the picture here. We can say that the stack of books or stack of plates, so where books are kept one on the other. So while adding, we will add from the top one by one, and while removing, the topmost element will be removed first, then the next one. So here, for example, real life example is stack of plates or books or bangles. Okay, so there is a particular way of storing and removing the elements in a stack, so that we call it as a LIFO. LIFO means last in first out. So last, whichever is entered at the last will come out first. So if you compare to the computer based example, undo operation, that means cancel the previous action, or the function call. So one function within that, how the function is called, so that can be compared with the stack. So another data structure is queue, which allows insertion and deletion from different end, insertion from rear end, and deletion from front end. So queue works on first in first out principle. So here item added first will be removed first. So the real life example, queue of the people for ticket. So you can see this example, who enters first, they get a ticket and go. So this is how the queue similar to the queue, normal queue what we say. So computer based example means, for example, keyword typing. So whatever letter you are typed, JPS first, right? Similarly, print, if you are giving the prints from different systems when it is in network, so which print order has come first, that will be printed. Okay, so this is how the theoretical concept of stack and queue. Similarly, there is other different data structures like trees. So it is of a multi-level data structure having hierarchical relationship among its elements called nodes. So topmost node is called the root of the tree, and bottommost nodes are called leaves of tree. Each of the node holds address of nodes below it. It will never contain a closed loop, like it can be extended in any order. So there will be a topmost node, then followed by the subnodes, then again subnodes. This way of storing the data we call it as a tree data structure. Similarly, there is a graph data structure also. As per our syllabus, we are going to see mainly the list, stacks and queues. Okay. So what are the different operations can be performed on data structures? There are various types of operations can be performed with data structure. One is traversing. Traversing means accessing each record exactly once. Similarly, insertion, adding a new element to the structure. Deletion, that means removing the element from the structure. Searching, search an element in the structure. Then sorting, sorting means arranging the elements in ascending or descending order. Then merging, that means joining two data structures of the same type. So these are various operations which can be performed on data structures. So under the data structures, first we are going to see about list. So as per the syllabus, list what we have learned in class 11. So that need to be known again here. So we'll just recall those concepts what we learned under list. So what is a list? List is a standard data type of Python. It is a sequence which can store values of any kind. So how do you represent a list? That is using square brackets, right? So for example, an empty list will look like this. There will be open square bracket and close square bracket. It is an empty list. So similarly, you can see here the integer list. Then you can see 1, 2.5, 5.6 and 9 is written. That is, it is a number list which contains integer as well as float. Then we have a character list. ABC is written as a list. Then we have a mixed value of list like A, I, B, 3.50. So there is a character here, there is a string here, there is integer type, there is floating point number. So all are together here. Then we use 1, 2, 3 here. That is also string, list of strings. Okay. So in Python only list and dictionary are mutable data types. Rest of all the data types are immutable data types. You have seen these properties in class 11. What do you mean by mutable? That is changeable. So list values can be changed. So list and dictionary are the mutable data types. All other data types like tuple and all, it is immutable. So you cannot change, right? Next, we'll see how we can create a list. So an empty list can be created by writing a variable, by assigning a value to the variable, that is L equal to open square bracket and close bracket. So L is an empty list now. List can also be created with the following statement, that is using list function. So you can write L equal to list of open bracket and close bracket, so it will create an empty list. Okay, so you'll see the example here. My list equal to list, hello is written with quotes, so it is a string. So if you display that, what happens is each character will be the member of the list. Okay, similarly I can also assign like this, L equal to, so PANKJ is written, it is with the round bracket, so we call it as a tuple. So I can convert this into list by assigning it to a variable, new list equal to list of L. So L is converted to a list. So when you convert, what happens, it will become a list which contains the characters. Similarly, we can have a long list, so which contains a number of elements. Then we can also have a nested list, that means one list within another. So 3, 5, 5 and 6 are already a list, so it is a member on this. Clear? So there is another method here, L1 equal to list of input, enter list of elements. So you will enter the elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is written together. So when you display L1, what happens is it takes all the elements one by one, all the elements individually as a list elements. Clear? So we'll see more on that. As we have seen in example, that when we have supplied values as numbers to a list, even then they have automatically converted to string. So you see that the numbers are also converted, actually displayed as string. So if you want to pass values to a list in numeric form, then we have to write the following function, that is EVAL function. What EVAL function does, let us see here. So here in this case we wrote L equal to EVAL input enter list to be added. So if you are entering any number, so what happens, the EVAL function identifies the type of passed string and then return it. That means it passes the values to a list in numeric form. So if you can see the example here, a equal to 15, it is a string, b is equal to 25, it is assigned as a string, print a plus b if you are writing, so it just joins both. Now if I am using print EVAL of a, what happens is the a is converted to a number form, the EVAL of b, so b is converted into a number form, both are added and displayed here. So EVAL function which converts it to a numeric form. So here in this case, so a is 15, which is enclosed in code, so it is a string. So EVAL of a which converts that string into a number. If I write type of a, it displays str, that means it is a string. If I write type of b, b is a converted number, that is it shows as integer. So EVAL is used for converting it to numeric form. Next, accessing a list. Let us see how the elements of a list is accessed. So first we will see the similarities between list and a string. So we have seen strings also, string and list both will be following the same method. It will have an index. So list is a sequence like string. List also has an index of each of its element like string. List also has two index, one forward index and backward index. Forward index starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, like that it goes. Backward index is minus 1 to minus sorry minus n and goes back in backward direction up to minus 1. So for example, the forward indexing in this, so in list also it follows the same thing. Here there is a example of a string. So 0, 1, 2, 3 is forward index, backward index is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, like this it goes to up to the number of elements. Clear? So here for example, vowels is written in a list A, E, I, O, U. So if I am writing vowels of 4, what happens? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is displayed? That is element U is displayed. If I am writing vowels of minus 5, what happens is it counts from the right side, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5. That is A will be displayed. If it is minus 1, then the last character that is used is displayed. So there is a forward index as well as backward index. Using that you can access particular element in a list. There are some functions related to a list. So one is len. So what len function does, it just gets the length of the list. That means how many elements in the list. So if I am writing name equal to a list of Pankaj, what happens? Pankaj is converted into a list. So P, A, N, K, J, all these are the elements of the list. So if I am writing length of name, so what happens? How many elements are there in the list that will be displayed. Similarly, L of I will return the value of exists at I index. So if I am writing L of 5, that means what is the particular index, what is the element. L of I colon j will return new list with values from I index to j index excluding j index. That means upper limit will not be included. So slicing we have seen in class 11. The same thing is explained here. So we'll see that name equal to list Pankaj is written. So name of 3 means 0, 1, 2, 3. So K letter K is displayed. If I am writing nm equal to name of 2 colon 4, that means index 2 to 3, 4 is not included. So 2 to 3, that is if I am displaying it, it displays n and k. So this is how the list, you can access the elements in a list. So there is a membership operator in and not in. It also will work with list, and plus and asterisk operators that also will work. We'll see that examples later. So next operation on list we'll see about traversal. Traversal means accessing the elements. So one by one let us see. Traversal of a list means to accessing and processing each and every element of list. So let us see the example. Here we have a list of characters Python. If I am writing for A in list 1, what happens is one by one element from the list will be picked up for the variable A. Okay, so here there is a mistake here. You can write print A. So it displays one by one element. Okay. So list operations. So we have two operators plus and asterisk. How it works with a list. So main operations that can be performed on list are joining list and replicating list. How do you join two lists? So just by using plus operator. So how, let us see the example. So we have a list here L1 which contains 1 2 3, L2 which contains 4 5 6 7, L3 equal to L1 plus L2, that means both are added. So how it is added? Let us see the output 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, that means just joins both the lists. So plus operator here is used for joining two lists. Similarly, replicating a list. If I am using asterisk operator, so what happens? We have a list. If I am writing L1 into, that is L1 star asterisk 3, what happens is it is replicated. The list is replicated 3 times. Clear? Now next is list operations, that is slicing. We'll see how slicing works in list. So all these we have studied in class 11. Once again we are recalling. So LST equal to 10, 12, 14, 20. So there are some numbers are initialized. So we have a list LST. Now next we wrote here SEQ equal to LST of 3 colon minus 3. So starting from 3 up to minus 3. So what are the elements will be taken? 0, 1, 2, 3. So 20 onwards. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. So that is 30, but that is not included. So you get elements 20, 22, 24. Similarly, slicing can be done like 2 colon 4. That means index 2, 0, 1, 2, 2, 3. So 14 and 20. So we can also have another syntax where starting value, starting index, stop index, last index, and step can be specified. For example, if I am using LST of 0 colon 10 colon 2, that means starting from index 10 up to index 9, 10 means 1 less than this, with the difference of 2. So 0 index, then 2, then 4, like this it goes. So elements 10, 14, 22, like this it goes. So the 10th one will not be included, that means up to index 9. So this is how the elements are listed. So when there is 3 arguments, first one is a starting index, last one is a ending index minus 1, then the steps, that means how many elements it has to skip. In case you want to read the list in reverse order, then what you can do is you can just leave the first one blank, that is colon, ending one is also blank, colon, and minus 1. So that means it reverses the elements. So 34 will come first, then 32, 30. So it just comes in a reverse order. We'll just see some of the functions what it does. Okay, so list function and methods. Python provides some built-in functions for list manipulation. So we'll see one by one. List.index, what it does, it returns the index of past items. So you can pass the item, so its index will be displayed. Similarly, list.append is most useful. Many times we use this to add an item to a list. List.extend, and within bracket it is a list, so you want to append the list, one list with another. So then you can use extend, append the list at the end of the list with, with which function is called. That means you have already one list, so what is specified within the bracket, that list will be added at the end of the existing list. List.insert, and here there are two arguments, one is position, then the item. That means you want to place the new element in particular position, then you can use insert. Similarly, we have a function called list.pop. So what pop does, deletes and returns the element of passed index. Index passing is optional. If not passed, element from the last will be deleted. If you don't specify anything, last element will be deleted. Otherwise you have to specify the index of the element. List.remove value. So if you are passing the value, what happens, it will delete the first occurrence of the past value but does not return the deleted value. Means, so you may have the same value repeated, the first occurrence where you find the particular value which is passed, that will be removed. Then we have clear function, it will delete all the values of the list and gives an empty list. So if you want to clear the contents of the list, then you can use list.clear. List.count, so what it does, you are passing an item, so how many times this item is repeated in the list, it will count and return the number of occurrences of the past element. Similarly, we have two more functions like list.reverse. What it does, it will reverse the list and it does not create a new list, so existing list is reversed. Okay, list.sort, it will sort the list in ascending order. To sort the list in descending order, we need to write list.sort reverse equal to true. So an elements of the list can be sorted directly using a sort function. So what it does, it just reverses in sorts it in ascending order. So in case you want it in descending order, then you have to write list dot sort reverse equal to true. Okay, I hope you are clear with the functions of list. We'll be looking at the programs based on list in the next session. So today we have seen about the data structures. What is a data structure? Then we saw the difference between data type and data structure. Then we saw the two types of data structures, linear and non-linear. Under linear, the examples are array, list, stack and queue. Under non-linear, tree and graph. So as per the syllabus, we have linear list. So there we'll see about the list, then we see about the stack and queue. So list is a sequence of data. Okay, then stack, it is also a kind of a list, but it follows a particular order, that is LIFO, last in first out order. Similarly queue, which follows first in first out, there will be two ends here. And then we have a non-linear data structure, trees. Then we saw different operations which can be performed on data structure. So under that, the first data structure what we see is list. So how to create a list and what can be the elements of the list, and also list is a mutable data type. Then how to create a list and how to access the elements of the list using index, and there is some functions related to the list, and what does the plus and asterisk symbol, how it can affect the list. So then list slicing and the functions related to list we have seen. We'll be looking at the programming part under the list. in the next session. So I hope you are clear till here. Thank you.